What an absolutely stupid, shallow, petty, and psychopathic thing to do. To interfere with somebody else's family, to intentionally, keep biological family members apart. Astaghfirullah. You know, it's not somebody's words that make them a believer. Although, Ashadu Allah, ilaha illallah, Ashadu Muhammad Rasulullah, those words make you a believer. But it doesn't matter how prettily you can parrot Islam, when behind closed doors you're dissecting it and causing torture to people and then pretending to yourself that you're making saints. No, you're not. You're not making anything. All you're making is further passages in future history books, which are being written right now. So, yeah. Way to get rid of moderate Islam for extremist Islam. So we have people who are dismembering, isolating, gaslighting, scapegoating the true moderate Islamic academics. Those of us that blend into modern culture, that we don't do dawah to convert people to our side because we see all of Islam as toxic. We see the worst of it. And, we see it as our burden that we are Muslims. Not that it's a burden to worship Allah, but it's a burden to be Muslim, to be surrounded by other Muslims. The misogyny, the violence, the duplicity, the hiding of harms. When you're a moderate, that's humiliating. And then, to find those very same people that cast us out and claim that we are not Muslim, that we're not Muslim enough, are the ones who are the same people doing handshake back deals to try and disenfranchise the people that are reasonable, to promote their own form of turban wearing, hijab mandatory, men and women separated, Margaret Atwood nightmare that is more restrictive than any prison. And those organizations are so threatened by people like me and a couple of college professors and a couple of, intelligence educators, that they'll create entire campaigns of misinformation to target us with bad supervision and to feed us lies, not for the purpose of uniting the Ummah, but for the purpose of persecuting it. When I say that I found Dajjal, when I was saying that in Persian, I think I meant that literally. And I'm not saying I'm schizophrenic or anything like that. This isn't a delusion. I'm just saying that if you look at the concept of the Dajjal, of the misleader, of, the Antichrist, of someone who promises good and delivers nothing but evil, that people follow without question. The thing is that people see these archetypes and they choose in their hearts that they want to live up to it. I go by a lot of nicknames, that sort of thing. Those are all things that I want to embody. That's why I'm very careful about what I'm called. Every name that you guys call me, I love it. If you come up with a new one, as long as the name is out of love, I love it. The name Marcosius was given to me by Dan. I love it. When I call myself Shamsi in my writing, that was given to me by one of my teachers. I love that name. I've been called as Alexander or Iskander, Iskandaria so many different times. I love it. They're all names from people that I love. But there are people who choose names based on hating themselves. And there's people who don't choose the names. They just embody it in their actions. But Allah is merciful. Reality is multiphasic. At any time, a new reality can be created from this present, with change and different decisions. So this time, my different decision is going forward with a clear head, not being ashamed of what I did not know, apologizing for what I did wrong, and now absolutely working on repair and making sure that something like this never happens to any other person, group, or family. Nobody's an experiment. There's no people that are less valuable in the eyes of God than others. There's no race, culture, or people that is less valuable. Just because you're British, it doesn't mean that you have ownership over people that are not British. Especially when you mislead us into believing that we're serving your cause and that your cause is one that we'd actually want to serve. Evidently, that's not the case. There's many people in SIS that I have good relationships with, that I respect highly. But how can I respect an organization that sees torture as a valid methodology over dialogue? So with that being said, I hope that there could be repair in the future, but that is up to God. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May Allah lead us all to the straight pathway. May He repair what has been broken by men. And if it cannot be broken, then may the pain or loss of it not trouble us any further. Amin.